Hello Stamper, welcome to Frenchie's video. I'm Franz Martin, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up at FrenchieStamps.com. Today it's my fold for the club, or even if you don't want to partake in the club, you can get the download. You don't have to commit, I should say, to the club. What I started this month, if you saw my Wednesday rubber band technique, I explained on that. It's each month I'm going to have one fold and one technique that with an order of $35, you can have the recipe printout. The recipe going to explain the technique, also going to give you for 2 cards. Boom, that was the rubber band. So, and then you're going to have the fold that you get the recipe for the fold, and you're going to have 2 cards. It's one more card that's going to be added to this. It's the one that I'm going to do here. So each month I'm going to offer that. The hostess code attached with that, it's only available for 10 days. So just go on my blog below and I get all the details there. So this one here, you see I call this the Skylight Diagonal Fold, because really it looked like a skylight on the side. It looked like a door with skylights. So what we're going to need, it's a piece of cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 11. We're going to bring this at 5 1/2 and we're going to score. So this is exactly half a sheet of cardstock cut on the long way. Now we're going to fold this. Let me reinforce this a bit here. And we're going to mark that at 1 1/4 on each end. You don't need a different a different ruler. Just put it on your paper trimmer. Put it at 1 1/4. Make a mark right in the groove. That's your mark place. You're going to make a little mark at 1 1/4. Bring this at 3 inch and make another mark right here. And this, again, it's 1 1/4 from there. So at each 1 1/4, 1 1/4. Now, it's very important when we're going to do the diagonal cut, we're going to open this so you don't cut the back of your card. You're going to bring the first notch that you did, you're going to bring that right in the groove of your paper cutter. So if you see, it's right in the track there. Now, oops, I'm going to need my the cutter at the bottom. And then the point at the bottom. So you're just going to pivot that. I want to make sure I'm all in the camera there. Yes. So I'm putting the groove right there. You see, in the groove, I get my mark. And then at the bottom, I get my point. Right here, my point. And I lost my groove, my mark. Right here, right there. Now we're going to cut that to the score line. If you're afraid to pass the score line, just finish a little bit below and we can trim that by hand. You're going to lift this up, pivot that, and do the other one. So again, you're going to put the point there, and this, we need this in, see my mark, it's right there. And then I'm going to pivot that, I get my point there. Can be pushed a bit, and then you're going to cut that diagonal. And I watch my line with my score there. And then we're going to remove this. Okay, we're going to put that aside. Now, if you use designer series paper, you're going to need 2 pieces of designer series paper for your skylight. And the reason why, it's because we cannot flip it because it's going to be a different in print. If you use cardstock, 1 piece will do the trick. This measures 1 1/4 by 5 3/8. Now, I'm going to put the point at the top, so I get the long piece on the left and the bottom piece the long way at the right there. And we're going to cut that diagonal this way, and cut diagonal. Now, these 2 are together, okay? So we could make 2 cards because we're going to have 2. Now, this one, we're just going to reverse that. The top part there is going to be the long, right there. On the right, and the bottom is going to be on the left, so that's going to reverse our print. So the point and the point, and cut, and then we get this. So see, we get one cut this way, and then we get one cut this way. And if I would have a piece of white paper, you would see better, and I will bring that so you can see that. Voila. Make sense? Okay. So now, let's just leave that aside. Now we're going to trim this here. We just have to remove, this need to be removed, and this need to be removed. If you didn't went all the way to the score line, just snip it there. That looked pretty good. Now when we're going to cut this, you can use the paper trimmer. I like to use just my scissors. One thing that I'm going to say, pay attention, you want to remove the score line. If you cut right on the score line, it's going to leave kind of a rough edge. So I go just above my score line and snip this off. And here I see I went off a little bit, and I'm going to trim that because I see my score line. It's just make it bulky. Okay, let's go there. Voila, this is gone. Now we're going to come here, and again just above the score line, and voila. Now if you notice, this one that I did with the designer series paper was the Splendor Snowflake Splendor, and also I used the Snowflake Wishes bundle. If you notice, I embossed this here. I think you can see. If you want to emboss the front flap or the front of the card, you're going to open this. You're going to put this in, and you're going to start right at the edge there. And then you're going to run that in your embossing machine. You have to make sure to keep that open. If you twist that there, see, you're going to have a portion that it's not embossed, and not only that, you get a chance to rip this when it go in the machine. So just keep it open. So when you want to open just the front of a card without any layers, it's perfect if you cut it on the long way, so then you can pass it right through the machine. Okay, it's done. Now for the inside, we're going to use our insert here, and we're going to bring what we cut. So this one going to go right here. See, it's going to fit right there. Now if I would want to twist this one and put it there, see, it don't fit. It go diagonal. I would have to flip it this way. So that's why I say if you use cardstock, absolutely you can use one piece and just flip it. Well, because I'm not using cardstock and I want each side to be the same, now I'm going to take this one here on the long and then put it there. So that's why one needs to be cut on one way and one on the other way to have the perfect match. Now you could take these two and make another card. That would go there and that would go there. Boom. So that's how your diagonal works. Now we're going to glue this. You can decorate that as the way you want. Inside, it's no right and wrong. So I'm just going to put this here and finish it a little bit so you can see how I'm going to decorate that. So just make sure you're right at the edge. And I find a liquid glue to work the best for that. And the reason it's because if you're not just right, you get the chance to pivot it around, move it around. Because if you use seal, it would be hard to push that around. See, I just moved that around a little bit. Here we go. Voila. So this part gonna go inside our card. So I'm gonna put the glue in the back here. Oh, I think it's time for a refill, but it's still plenty. And we're gonna put that right here. Just get a tiny little border, so it's very important really to use because right now I'm not straight. this dry quick today. Usually don't dry this quick. Here we go. Now I got it. So watch this. When I fold this, boom. Ow. Is that cool? So I'm using, for this one, I'm using the Price Peony. So I die cut this part right here. I think I will emboss that with a different folder. And if you want to use like the greeting here, when I did the greeting, what you want to do, let me show you here. I thought I had a strip here of paper. Well, where did it go? Here it is. So the first thing you would want to do is, I'm going to do it right now. We're going to use Love and Thanks to a Dear Friend. It's right in here. So let's use this. This is 1 inch wide. And I'm going to stamp that, excuse me, with coastal, not coastal, but a Calypso Coral to go with my flower. And I try to go right in the middle. So you would start with, I say the best size to start with would be 1 inch wide. 1 inch wide by 4. And the reason why, so I guess I will, well, I can put it temporary and then I can emboss it. So I would put that right here where I want it. About there. Put that down. Now you're going to flip this, and this is what, because it would be too hard to decide where to cut it. This way, it's no guessing. Go in the back and follow your line. Go in the back and follow your line. Boom. So then you got the perfect match here without any guess. And then I can put my right here. See how pretty that's going to be? So this is it on how to do the, I call it the Skylight Diagonal Fold. So hope you enjoyed this. Again, for all the detail on how you can get your own printout or your own download, you can save it on your device. Right below you get the direct link to go to my blog. Also, I'm going to have all the supplies that I use for these cards today. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, happy stamping, my friend. Bye-bye for now.